We'll call the meeting to order. Welcome to the September 23rd, 2025 meeting of the Johnson County Board of Zoning Appeals. Begin with the roll call. I am Chris Campbell and I am here. Mr. Canary. Here. Mr. Hoffman. Here. Mr. Meyer. Here. Mr. Taylor. Here. Mr. Gray is absent. All board members were mailed a copy of the meeting minutes from the last Board of Zoning Appeals meeting, which was June 24th, 2025. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes?
There's only one correction that, and I think Mr. Kaler's name's spelled wrong.
Sorry?
I think Mr. Kaler's name's spelled wrong in
Missing an L.
in one of them.
You know what?
No, it's,
The very first time.
I don't know it.
Page one, roll call. Under present,
Yeah.
needs an L.
Yeah, that one.
Sorry about that, Jane.
And then somewhere, well, I didn't see that one somewhere. It was Taylor, I think.
Charlie, you're pretty good. Check with that.
But that's just a, yeah, it's the beginning.
If there are no additional corrections to the minutes, I entertain a motion to pass.
Chairman, I move to approve the minutes with the corrections.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from the June 24th meeting. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Minutes are passed. We have no continued petitions. We have one petition tonight, V-11-25 Irving Materials. And with that, I'll turn it over to staff.
All right, V-11-25, which is the land that is south of 6695 South Miss Valley Road in Greenwood. The petitioner and property petitioners Irving Materials. The current property is the trustees of the Richards Family Irrevocable Trust. Their request is to they're requesting approval to modify a site plan and the plan of operation on the previously granted use variance for mineral excavation that was V-21-20. Subject site is located in White River Township. It is on the west side of I-69. Here's the aerial of the property. They currently are mining the current water that you currently see on the screen. This is an aerial or a bird's eye view of the property in question tonight. So as stated, they are requesting a modification of their site plan and plan of operation from a previous granted use variance for mineral excavation. The property is overall 87 acres. It is zoned SR and agricultural. It is bordered to the north and west by current mining operations of Irving Materials, which is also zoned AG. And to the south are a small business that is zoned BG. The western half of the property is located in the flood fringe of the White River. Approximately 133 acres adjoining this subject site to the west and north was subject to a special exception, SP 4-4 in 2004, which started allowing the use of the mineral extraction. This request, this is a map provided in 2020, where they were going to, where their use variance, where the green areas where they were going to mine and the blue areas where they weren't going to mine. They were going to leave that land for potential development or just leave it as unused farm fields or a field. The current proposal is to expand into that acreage. So that's what basically almost everything will remain similar. They're just expanding their limitations of mining to that area that they once said was not mining. This is the limitations of 13.73. So this, was previous 27 acres. And now this is the proposal to expand to 13 acres. I provided you both of the plan of operations that are provided from the 2020 and the 2025 is in the bottom. Very similar. I don't think there is actually any difference. They did make a commitment on the first time to have a berm along the road. And then they also had commitments that they had agreed upon with the wellhead water providers. Those have been recorded in against the property. It's just that we need to confirm that this would include that area as well. And like I said, that berm that they were going to propose, which is the brown spot of the brown line, is currently in place and is gonna remain in place. Excuse me. Other than that, I have no other comments and questions.
Yeah, I have some. I'm having a little trouble with these two maps, figuring out exactly what we're talking about. Um. When it says current mining operations area in orange, where is this expanding to?
So you're talking about this map?
Yes.
So right now, this is where they're mining of that current use variance. Like I said, there's other use variances have to do with older.
So we're talking about this triangle.
Yes,
Okay, that's right. How is how is the truck traffic, how is it going in and out now that the interstate's in?
they can confirm, but their mining operation are currently up here. They go up that way to the Smith Valley interchange 969.
Are there any other questions for staff? Okay, seeing none. The rules are that anyone who wants to speak for or against this petition must take the oath of a witness. The petitioner is allowed 15 minutes to present their case, and then anyone who is remonstrating against it is allowed 20 minutes cumulatively between all remonstrators, and then the petitioner is allowed 5 minutes for rebuttal. So anyone wishing to speak for or against this case, please stand and take the oath of witness.
And stand, raise your right hands, swear or affirm on penalties of perjury, testimony about gives truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. That's all we got. Right.
So I'll turn the floor over to the petitioner. When you approach the podium, state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Brian Duncan. I'm at 1050 Fleetwood Drive, Indianapolis. And I'm speaking pro for the variance. And I wanted to mention that, yes, point to the map here. So this area here is where the variance will be. And 69 was built 2020. We held that area as a non-mining area not to be in the original variance, because we didn't know if it was going to be commercial potential there. After 69 came through, we found out that pretty much the west side of 69 was going to be agriculture or industrial, and a hotel or a gas station was not going to go in that area. So we want to go ahead and mine the area out. It still has great sand and gravel below it. It will not be seen, this berm right here that's currently in place. We'll keep it hidden. I think if you've driven down 69, you'll notice that you can't see anything except the top of a crane moving as you drive by that area. So it'll all be hidden back there, and it'll be a lake when it's done. And that's really all I have to say, unless you have any questions for me.
Is this changing the intensity of use, the number of trucks per day, that kind of thing? Because we know
this
that's
just
always been a
expands
concern.
the reserve time. So we're looking at 25 years in this area, plus or minus, depending on the economy, depending on demand for sand and gravel.
Any other questions for the petitioner?
Where do your trucks usually go? Do they go north to the Smith Valley, or they go on old?
So and these are customer trucks, they're not IMI trucks. But our scales are right here. They leave on our paved road on our property, and they exit on Smith Valley Road around the roundabout, and then hit 69 and go north or south there.
Okay, so they don't touch old, was that old 37?
This road right here.
Correct.
If there's a project down there, but we don't have anything going down that way. It actually goes down to 44, which goes back to 69 again, or 144.
144.
So we wouldn't use that road unless there was a demand for sand and gravel on that road somewhere. So no, we don't use that.
Are you gonna mine that now, or when are you like almost out of sand and gravel when you're digging now?
Now, we've got So we're mining the southern, which is the Richard's property, as mentioned earlier. We're gonna mine this area first. So we're gonna clean this area up here and pull this out, and it'll all be one big lake in this area. We'll come back over here, start mining that area. We want to continue in an area we've got our equipment set up, a dump hopper, the cranes there, conveyors are all set up for that area. Once this area has been mined out, we'll run conveyors down this area and continue mining down here as far as the west. And then once that area is done, we'll continue up in this area.
How big's that lake?
Rich, you know how big that lake is right now? I'm gonna say 70 or 80 acres at least.
Wow. Just one.
And that's just this side. I'm gonna be over 100 between the two lakes. And we proposed this area over here in 2020 because of I-69 coming through and basically cutting off the east side of Johnson County, or east side of Greenwood, west side, and it's just gonna be industrial and farming over here. It just makes sense for us to continue on instead of building something on that property.
I read something about the water barging and stuff. Explain, how do you guys deal with them, or what's
So
that
we
mean?
do testing every year with Margaretville. Their mines or their wells up north of the map up. Right there.
Oh, you want
Go
me
down.
to?
Yeah. So there are wells up in here. This is mined out by Martin Marietta. This is not our property up here. But there is a well here, here, and here for Margaretville. We run tests along monitoring wells here and here. There's any flow coming this way, we'll go to the wells. We run tests on those wells once a year. And we're on a water wellhead protection board with Miss Hansard. Every year we give their results of the wells for drinking water, SOCs, VOCs, and IOCs, which are drinking water test methods and procedures. And they come up clean. So.
Okay.
Any other questions for the petitioner?
Are those tests reported to IDEM or is that separate?
Just to the Vargasville and the engineering firm for Johnson County, Strand.
It's for Barbersville Stream.
Okay,
I think Indian American Water has some involvement.
Indiana Water has them as well. Yeah, we share them with the board.
Any further questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Duffy. Okay, anyone wishing to speak against this petition? Now is your time. You have 20 minutes.
My name is Vanita Van. I'm at 1914 Old State Road 37, Greenwood 46143. And I am south of the property on Old State Road 37. And actually IMI in the 70s and 80s actually had a gravel pit behind our house. And so there's 600 acres behind our house that's considered floodplain now that was mined by IMI. And they're mined out, so that's why they moved further north. And so we have like 5 or 6 lakes behind our house, and we actually have a part of our property is kind of dug out so that we have water access rights to that. And over the last few years, our water table has went down. So my question is how's that going to affect my water level? All the properties that are south of it are all on well water. And so I can tell you, I've been at my house for 40 years and we dug our well and it is pristine water. It is clear. It's 25 feet deep. So my concern is with them mining even more, is that going to take my water level down? Because I can tell you over the last several years that our water table has went down probably anywhere from 8 to 10 feet on the water table. Now, not sure if that's from the gravel pit itself, but I can tell you that that's over the last several years, the water table has went down. And I know that with dredging new sand and gravel, that does, if you're in the aquifer and it gets into the thing, it'll drain all of our water out. And it's quite expensive to dig a new well. if you have one. I don't want city water. I don't want a water bill. My water is pristine, and that's what I'm concerned about, is where my water table is going to be with more and more water being drained out from the gravel pit.
Can you show me where your house is? Is it on the map
It's
roughly?
right here. Yep, no, we're right here, because that's our lake right there. And so all of this is owned by two property owners that own 600 acres back here. So all these lakes were had been prior to in their dugouts. They can't do anything else with this property. And so that's why they had to move north.
Any questions for Mrs. Van?
So you're saying your water table is lowered, are you talking about the level of the lake is lower?
Yes,
So
significantly.
how deep is your well there?
My well is 25 feet deep. And I haven't had any trouble out of it. And no rust, nothing. We have a little calcium. Other than that, it's pristine water, and I'm afraid that if you guys go too low with it, then I'm gonna have to bring an outside source in to put in a new well. And I will tell you, my well was witched years ago, and it works. And so I really don't want to lose our pristine water that we have.
Did your lake go down 8 or 10 feet as well?
Yes.
And how deep is your lake?
So this back in here, oh my gosh, I can't even tell you. We're down to about 2.5 feet of water in here now. And boats used to come up into our lake. We had bass boats that would come in because this was a natural spring. And so during February, March, April, when it was starting to warm up, all the fish would come into our area of the lake and have their babies or whatever, and people would come in there and fish. And we had some pretty good bass and bluegill and everything in it. And now like I said, you can't get a boat in there anymore because it's about 2.5 feet. It's brought it down that much.
Is your well on your property or is it
Yes.
on the neighboring?
No, it's on my property. Everybody has a well on that strip.
How is your traffic now?
Traffic now, as to a dead end road. Traffic, I mean, I would definitely like it to be a dead end road again, but we do have people that go 60, 70. I mean, it's a straight strip there. And so we have people that go 70, 80, 90 miles an hour sometimes down that strip. And so it has speeded up, especially because we're right by a curve. So they will come in here and then they just floor it. And so because you have a straight here, and then right after you get past that curve, you got another straight spot right after the curve till you get to the trailer court there at the southern edge.
I was specifically meaning the trucks. I know.
Oh, the trucks. I can't tell you that they're coming from IMI because most of them are coming from Howard, but yeah, they're right. When they do come out, they come out. They hardly ever come down our road unless, like they said, it's a project, because usually they'll go up off of their road straight onto Smith Valley and get on that way.
Okay.
Do you have access to city water if you want it?
We do, but I don't.
Okay.
Well, we don't. Yes, we do right now.
So you can tap.
I could
As
tap.
waters go.
Could, but I don't want to. They have too many chemicals in it. I don't have any chemicals in my water, and I don't have a water bill. All I have is an electric bill.
Any other questions for Mrs. Van? Thank you.
Thank you.
The petitioner has 5 minutes. Oh, no, we've got another lady that would like to speak. I'm sorry.
Hi, I am Kathy Peacock. I am at 820 Austin Court, which is in the Ockgill Dutch Village on Bluff and south of county line between Fairview, where the old CBS was. I came here today just to kind of see what exactly was gonna go on. We have a community there that is very small, 100% wells in our neighborhood. And we do our own septic and everything there. I'm kind of concerned that overhearing about what I just heard now is making me even more nervous. But what they have been telling us is that on the other side of 69, that it was apparently flood zone. Now it's not flood zone, and I know rivers change sometimes as they move. But I'm just kind of concerned that this keeps rolling up and rolling up. And first it was on 144, south of there and all that, and it keeps going up and up and up. How long till that's, what's gonna be enough at some point? This is once again farmland that's being pulled out from underneath people. How do we feed our county if we keep doing this sort of thing? Not to mention with the well dropping, we all use the same aquifer. Now we have to deal with Indiana Water taking water from us. Bargersville's taking water from aquifer. How long until we have people here who are retired, elderly people. They can't afford a water bill every month. They can't afford city water or anything like that. And usually when you get city water, city sewers are right along behind it. So I came out today to just kind of feel out what's going on here and make IMI aware that we are in that community that's bigger than just a couple homes that use this aquifer. And I know we are in the weird northern part, strangest part of the county that nobody really pays attention to. But after what happened in Mount Pleasant, when they put in one subdivision and everybody there for about 50 years had been using their well, had their entire water table drop and nobody had water. And then they had to go on and put sewers in and do all that and water and all that. We don't want that to happen in our community. So I just came to voice my opinion on that issue. So I'm glad that people are employed. I'm glad that they're local drivers. And as far as what I refer to as the Gray Brother Highway, that's a taxpayer funded road for the dump trucks. So enjoy that. But it just seems a lot, one more little piece in the puzzle going until they're all the way up, so. Okay, sorry, thanks.
Anyone further? The remonstrator has 5 minutes to address any concerns.
Thank you, and I appreciate both comments. Thank you very much. I believe the water has dropped. I will not deny that. We have, can you zoom out, Michelle, please? IMI does not use any water. We circulate. So we use the water in our pipelines and our dredges to move the water to the plant, but the water goes back into the lake. So we don't ever withdraw water from this area. Now, if you take the rocks out, you should have more water in its place. If you took a bucket full of rocks and water and the water stays at this level, you pull the rocks out, the water's going to drop. So if the water continually flows through there, but the water's staying up here. So we're pulling the rocks out. It gives you more room for water, less room for more water to flow through, if I'm saying this right. But over here, up here, and further over, Indianapolis water, Bargersville water, Indiana water have all put in wells. This is an aquifer that runs for Indianapolis all the way down to Brownstown, I think, even down to Bedford. So it's a huge aquifer that runs through here. It has sand and gravel in it. And to the point about the farming, we have a saying in the mining industry: if it can't be grown, it has to be mined. So there's two things that are in play here. We don't want to take away from the farmland, but we have to get the sand and gravel out from somewhere, and it's in this area here. We see the water go down as well, and we have to move our pumps around to feed the plant. The water goes back into the pond, so we're not taking any water out. That was a big concern, and I think Bargersville was concerned about that as well. So to the point of the water going up and down, it all depends on Mother Nature and the rainfall and what comes through there. In April, we had a huge rain. The water came up a little bit. We've had a drought now for the past month, so it's been going up and down. Effect on the wells. If you look out there and the water goes down, your well's going to drop a little bit. The water should come back up with the next rainfall, the next season. It all depends on what Mother Nature wants to give us on the waters there. But I wanted to make it sure that everybody knew that we don't take water out. It just circulates around. It helps clean up the material and we sell it for the sand and gravel. I do believe that the wells all around this area are pulling water out. So we see that go down, especially in the drought. We'll see the water pull down because Indianapolis is taking water out through that. I think they have 12 or 13 wells on the west side of White River. And then Barbersville has 4, and then Indiana Water has 1 up to the north that I know about. So questions on, or sorry.
I just wondered how many of those are new in the last 5 years. How many of those wells?
1 new one for Barbersville, I know that. Indianapolis Water has put 12 or 13 in on the west side, and that was probably done 10 years ago on the west side of White River. So I've seen the water go up and down just with drought and when Indianapolis puts a big draw on it. Indianapolis used to use Geist Reservoir, Eagle Creek, and Morris. Those reservoirs are staying up now because they're pulling water down here. It's cheaper to process well water than it is reservoir water. So I've learned that from the water company, Indianapolis Water. So they like pulling from the wells. You already have a pre-filtered water coming in.
My question, and I don't know where this is at, I don't know what legal rights anyone has, but these folks have a pond or lake or whatever you want to call it in their backyard, looks to me like. And I understand as you take rocks out, the water level goes down. But you're looking at a level water all the way from their lake through, over into yours, but yours are going down, theirs are going down too.
So and I just spoke when I said that if you take the rocks out, you get more water because you've got an area now of 80 acres that's full of rocks and water. If you take all the rocks out, if the water stays level, you have more water available. The water will go up and down. If it's in sand and gravel below in groundwater, it goes up and down. We just don't see it. It happens in droughts. The water will go up and down in the ground. Wells will get higher and lower. We just don't see it. And here, when you have those lakes, now you see the water going up and down.
And that's my concern is the surface, because now they have a surface area that's smaller. That she's saying it's not able to be used like it was in the past.
If the water
Because
comes
the water,
back,
well, I don't know. If it's gone down 8 feet, I don't know.
so if we get a big rain, the water should come back up, and then that surface area will get bigger again for the water. I don't know how long it's been down like that.
Down, and it doesn't, it'll come back maybe 2 or 3 feet with the rain, but after that, it goes right back down. Soil and gravel, so water doesn't sit on our property very long. It works back down into the ground, but that water goes right back down, so.
In my opinion, I think that's the wells from Indianapolis, Barbersville, and pulling that water down. And the a lot of the what do you call those radial irrigation systems on wells, they really pull water down as well. If you've got a drought going on, the radial wells over on the west side of White River will pull that water down as well.
Any other questions for Mr. Griffin? Thank you.
Thank you.
Does the board have any further questions for staff?
And one question, I don't know if it's for staff or for legal or who. Are there laws or are there anything, is there anything legal to protect folks from this water problem? And I know it's probably, I mean,
There,
how are you gonna prove it on this?
well, there might be, but I've said this before. Board of Zoning Appeals, not the Board of everything under the sun appeals, right? So you're looking at the 5 statutory factors, whether or not those have been granted, obviously consider remonstrator position, but
Yeah, you're right. I stand corrected.
Any comments or, like I said, further questions for staff or any points you'd like to make?
I guess I just have one more question.
Okay.
Everything to the north end, Michelle, is also gravel pit, somebody else's, but it's the same thing all at that side.
Martin Marietta is this pond right here. This is their current facility, IMI's facility. They have a concrete asphalt, is that concrete?
It's concrete.
Concrete right there. If you go, yeah, I mean, so everything that's been highlighted in orange has been approved at one point or the other for mining operations. So there is, I think, there's some thing that they keep in mind, if you're not mining, is that correct?
That's correct. That's future mining.
Michelle, were you here when this was initially granted? Is this 2020?
2024, 2004, I was a senior in college.
Okay, not nothing, but 2020.
I was here
right?
in 2021 or 2020.
Okay. I guess the only reason why that triangle parcel was not included back then was due to the interstate.
I think they had some plans that maybe some commercial development might want to be there, but without a sewer line, that's not viable. So somebody actually wants to put that expense in, put a sewer line there.
It's never that.
It looks like it was. I'm assuming, so I just turned on the flood zone. All this area. Not within the flood zone, so any potential development could happen, but again, we would need certain infrastructure to happen, so I'm assuming that they saw this as a non-problematic area that wouldn't have flood zones.
Turn on the TIF district. I'll explain later, unless you need more context, unless you want more context now.
Sure.
Walk me through the findings of fact here.
Petitioner's findings of fact?
Yeah, but just the,
Which one are you particularly focused on?
I don't know. The number one is the approval will not be injurious to public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community. Number two, the use and value of the area adjacent to the property included will not be affected in a substantial manner. Number three, maybe if the board has thought on this is what I really ought to say instead of singling you out. The need for the variance arises from some condition peculiar to the property because, and then number four, the strict application in terms of zoning owners will constitute an unnecessary hardship. And number five, the approval does not interfere substantially with the comprehensive plan. Obviously, at some point in time, this has been approved, and it says on the staff report, first page. The approximately 133 acre site adjoining this subject west and north was the subject of a special exception SB 404 approved in 2004, which allows for the use of that adjoining property for mineral extraction. Does that mean that this is already in that special exception?
So, for clarification, so if me go back to. So. There's word special exception and use variances for this particular property. I'm trying to. I closed the net, sorry. So, if I turn back on the zoning map, which I've already closed out the web page, so I'm just trying to explain without the zoning map. We have single family residential, we have agricultural, and everything that was in the floodway is zoned agricultural. And under our old zoning ordinance, mining extraction was a permitted use by special exception in agricultural land. It was not a special exception in single family residential zone properties. So in 2004, where they had most majority of their orange, that was treated as a special exception. In 2020, when they came in, which is what's up on the board, the green area, it was the whole parcel itself question. This is like basically their site plan saying that we're gonna mine this green area for a use variance because this property is actually zoned single family residential according to the zoning map. So it wasn't a special exception. That was explained in 2020. I could have included that, but I didn't know if it would be confusing. But so this was in essence, the proposed site plan that was approved with the use variance that we did in 2020. Where they said that this was the area they're gonna mine in green versus the area they're gonna leave reserved for any development. Now they're coming back and saying, we want to modify our site plan that was approved with the use variance. So we're not approving another use variance. We're allowing them to expand their use variance on their site plan of operation to the area that was once marked non-mining area to a mining area on their property. So just like if we have a contractor that wants to use a portion of his barn, wants to use a barn on his property for his contracting business, and we give him a use variance and it's grown, and now he wants to build another barn, but that was not the original site plan and of operation, so he's got to come back and say, can I get modification on my previous use variance and allow another building with more employees? That's this kind of situation is. We're allowing them to expand their use on the existing property that they already got a use variance on, but there was limitations on it. So that's why I don't have any findings of facts, because this was just a request to modify their operating site plan.
So the only request would be, it really is just the plan of operation.
To expand it to this area, that part on the site plan, that is that triangle place extension request.
Well, anybody got any further thoughts? If not, I'll entertain a motion for or against variance V 11-25.
Chairman,
Yes.
I would move to approve V-11-25 modification of the plan of operation. Using the petitioner's findings and facts.
It's been moved to approve V-11-25. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Taylor seconds. Okay. Mr. Hoffman.
Yes.
Mr. Canary.
Yes.
Mr. Taylor.
Yes.
Mr. Meyer.
Yes.
And that means it passes. I'll vote yes. So V-11-25 is approved. There is no old business, no new business, no reports or recommendations. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.